Hey guys! So, you're looking at the title up there and thinking like, this is a weird thing to be talking about. Well, it is a weird thing. It is a rare condition, but it's one that I have. It's one that my mum has, and I thought, you know what, let's just make a video about it. Not many people have heard of it, lots of people have asked me questions, and hey, let's just go with it. So, chronic lung disease, or CLD, is an umbrella term for long-term chest problems in premature babies. I was actually not quite premature. I was literally within about a week of being premature, which is actually one reason why it's as bad as it is now, because the doctors didn't give me the same treatment they would have done if I was born like a few days later and therefore been in a premature box, which is so ridiculous, but whatever. So there are hundreds of different types of chronic lung disease, and these affect people in different ways. So my chronic lung disease, it doesn't really have a name yet, as far as I know, like a specific name, but basically I've had it since birth. Was basically one of the factors that caused it was through having no surfactant in my lungs. So that means that, surfactant is a type of liquid that moistens the lungs for breathing, so it can expand better. Now when you have no surfactant, that means the lungs can be very stiff, which means you can't breathe as easily. So I was born with no surfactant. They gave me artificial surfactant, which sort of kicked the body into gear, thinking, this would probably be quite a good thing to have. So my body's now making its own surfactant, so that's fine, yay, you have surfactant. The two problems I have now, I have fibrous tissue, which is kind of like permanent scarring of the tissue in the lungs, and I have cysts, and the cysts block off certain parts of the lungs, sort of like they're filled with fluid, sort of like little balls of fluid, and they block off parts of the lungs. So altogether I have about 50% lung capacity, which means that 40% of it, one lung is working, and 60% of the other lung is working. So it's kind of like living with one lung, which you can probably imagine is a bit of a hassle. And that's basically what's causing the lung disease. So, affecting me, there are sort of really a few ways that, it kind of reminds me, it sounds like a weird way to put it though, it reminds me I have lung disease. But, that it's sort of ways that I need to do to, live with it. Yeah. One of them is through supplemental oxygen through a nasal cannula, which I will get now, because you're all probably thinking, what is this I am talking about? Ta-da! It sort of looks like that, if you can see it, and you put it on and do a thing like that. Yeah? You know what? I'm going to be brave. I'm going to wear this for the rest of the video. Also, I put it on a weird way than you were meant to do. You're actually meant to put it on this way, like round like that with a thing in the front. But I hate that. I hate the feeling of this here. So I do it this way, like so, on the back, and there we go. Because as if nasal cannulas weren't hipster enough. So, yeah. So, I wear these all night, and if I have a chest infection, it usually means I have to wear them all the time, like literally like 24/7, and that's one reason why it takes me so long to recover from chest infections. Have I mentioned about chest infections yet? I don't think I actually have. So the other way it does affect me is through chest infections. I will get quite serious chest infections, whereas it might, with people it might be sort of a week that they might have it, or a couple of weeks, and it'll be gone. For me, it usually about a month that it will stay there, up to a month, and then a few months after recovering. So it's like when I get a chest infection, it would literally be like a third of the year used up on getting over a chest infection. I actually had a home tutor in years like 10 and 11 because I was missing so much of my GCSE work because I was having chest infections all the time. So yeah, so I get chest infections a lot. I also catch them quite a lot sort of like the winter months. So I actually have like sort of antibiotics that I take 3 times a week in the winter. So it sort of helps to prevent me from catching anything. Doesn't always work, but it helps to at least prolong it a little bit. Let's think, what else affects me? If I get really cold, it'll make my oxygen sats drop. Oxygen sats, yeah! Oxygen saturations is the percent of oxygen in the blood. And a normal person would have about 95 to 100% oxygen. And usually if you get under about 90, doctors will panic and they'll be like, you're under 90%, you're going to die. A little fact for you, I live at about low 80s and I'm not dead. So they're panicking over nothing. I usually go on oxygen in the day if I go under 80, but at the same time we don't really test my sats in the day much. I have a little machine, you can put it on your finger. I'm not too sure where it is at the moment, I think it's downstairs somewhere. And it tests your heart rate and your oxygen sats. And yeah, so using that now and again. Now my mom also has chronic lung disease. Now the way it affects her, she actually didn't have it from birth, which is quite unusual. Hers was diagnosed in the last few years. She has an autoimmune disease, of which means that her body is sort of fighting herself. So like, you know, if you're going to have a transplant, your body would fight the foreign entity. It's kind of like that, but where her immune system is fighting her lungs, which are actually hers. So it's kind of that problem there. She's taking autoimmune tablets that are to sort of dull down the immune system, so it sort of makes them a little bit dozy. Not people, the immune system, I'm personifying here. And then it will stop trying to destroy your lungs. So she also has fibrous tissue, but she responds to different treatments. She's actually had chemotherapy, which has helped to help with the lungs. I bet you didn't know that was to do with lungs either. She has had different inhalers. I've had different inhalers too, but that was a long time ago. Also oxygen, she doesn't have oxygen because she doesn't need it as much because her sats don't usually drop, whereas my sats drop low, so I have oxygen. Oh, another thing that we both had is steroids, which are just the bane of medicalness. One of its main side effects is weight gain. You know, it's like literally you have it and the next day you look like you gained like 60 pounds. I'm not joking, it's so horrible. So we both have had that, but the difference is that she has to have it, had sort of small doses of steroids every day. And now it really works for her because she's tried to cut them down and she's felt the difference. She's felt a huge difference. Whereas with me, it made me really good when I was younger and it did a lot of good. Then it sort of started to stop working. So they gave me sort of bigger doses and different types of doses and intravenous steroids. Intravenous where it goes like in the hand, like straight in the vein. And none of that was working anymore. So I'm, yay, off steroids now. Probably for the last 4 years or so. And yeah, so it will respond differently to different people, and other types of lung disease will have different types of treatments and different types of symptoms and all these sort of things. So yeah, that's my video on lung disease. Yay! I hope you enjoyed the video, and you'll probably see more random topics coming on my channel very soon. Bye! I was wearing nasal candies before they were cool.